We're at the corner banks.
We're at the Bar and Grill. All right. Warden Avenue in Scarborough, just north of Eglinton. 14,000 square feet of fun. Pro standard playing equipment. Great food. Book your party today. 416-757-2265 or go to the Corner Bank.
Hey, Tilley.
Yes, sir.
You don't know jack about sports, but you sure as hell read that like a champ, eh? Holy shit! How many?
I know a lot about sports. You're gonna find out. You're gonna find out just how much I know today.
Tell the guys how many square feet.
14,000 square feet.
Yeah, great place. Come on down.
Real good news here for the program. The Tilley and Billy Show. By the way, did I say that yet? We are the Tilley and Billy Show. I'm Joe the Swiss.
Billy the Greek.
All right, and we are live from the Corner Bank, as I mentioned, and we are also on NSS Sports Star, nextsportstar.com, and interviews, insights, all your favorite sports coverage. They got movies and everything. Go to nextsportstar.com, or on Twitter, Facebook, and get the NSS app, Next Sports Star, where you can find the Tilley and Billy Show.
Yeah, attaboy.
Okay, so first up on the agenda, well, we do this quite a bit. We tend to lead with the Maple Leafs for obvious reasons. The Leafs are kind of a hot number in this town, hot ticket in this town, and people love the Leafs. That's the way it is, Billy. Some people hate the Leafs, but most people love the Leafs.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, first thing I want to say is we had this little preview before the Leafs played the Flyers, and Billy the Greek said the Flyers were going to win that game.
No, again, you're...
and Joe Smith called the Leafs to win. By the way, what a game.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if you like Shinny. It was a great game.
Yeah.
The Greek said, and I quote, the play. He didn't say who's going to win. He said Philadelphia is the play. When you come into Toronto and you're playing that Leaf team banged up, and Toronto's minus 240 and the other team's plus 180, which happened to be the Flyers, right. Philadelphia's the play. I ain't betting that Toronto club with my money under these conditions, even if they played the Marlies, right? It's the play. I didn't say they're going to win.
Right.
I said it's the right play. That's it, plain and simple. Anyways,
let's
move on. Let's forget about that.
I'm pretty sure
it's the play.
I'm pretty sure
it's the play. All right.
Anyway, I did say the Leafs were going to win that game.
Speaking of play, what did you think of the game?
What a fun game that was. Oh my! But when it was 5-2, I thought, Billy's got a point here. I mean,
you did, eh? Yeah, you're saying holy shit.
Billy's point was that the Flyers were desperate, and the Leafs were, the Flyers' backs were against the wall, and the Leafs had hit the wall. So I think the quote you used, but I think from this standpoint, I just when it was 5-2 Flyers, I thought the game was over because I thought it was going to be a big comeback against a team that had been playing pretty well, and but they chipped away, they got it done. This time they decided to leave Freddie Anderson in the net, which was, I thought, obviously the right decision.
Just getting some information here.
Okay, so Brian Glasgow.
He's hungry?
He's hungry over there.
What does he want?
He said we had no sound. What happened? Okay, we had no sound, but we have sound now. Okay.
We had no sound, so where do you want to start?
Let's start from the get-go. First of all, we're on the Corner Bank Sports Bar and Grill. Okay, we're live.
We're live.
The Corner Bank Sports Bar and Grill. We're also on NSS nextsportstar.com. Get the NSS app today.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Leafs against the Flyers. And Billy said the Flyers were the play. He now informs us. And I said the Leafs would win, and the Leafs won in a very good hockey game. So now we're cut up, Brian.
We're good?
We're good to go?
Okay. All right. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So what do we do with this guy over here, man? We give him the pink slip, or we just bear with that guy? Hey, he's
if he wasn't so damn good looking, I think we'd have.
You know what I noticed? You know why you keep this guy around, eh? Because he's always got that Leaf jersey on. Eh? He's got a soft spot.
Well, he does have class. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Without a doubt. So I don't know. Where do you want to start?
Anyway, that was a lot of fun. They chipped away. They left Freddie Anderson in between the pipes. And they came back nicely. The team showed what they've got. That team's got offense. That team can flat out score. The Maple Leafs can flat outscore. What, you don't think 7 goals to score?
You don't stop, man.
They 7 goals. When the Maple Leafs can flat out score. That's what they do.
Holy Jesus to Murphy, man. I don't know, man.
Well, you got a problem with that? You can argue that they can't score. They can say they can't score.
You said something else beforehand. I forget, man. You've driven
They showed what they can do.
Yeah, when was that? Did they show what they could do against Tampa Bay for 60 minutes?
Hey.
Or Chicago for 40 minutes?
Did they show what they could do against Tampa Bay when they were in Tampa Bay and they beat them 4-2 in Tampa?
Yeah,
Did they show what they could do when they beat the Flames 6-2 in Calgary?
That was
the two top
what have you
teams in the
done for
league.
me lately, Tilley?
Well,
Thanks a lot.
wait a second. The Flames was like a week and a half ago. See, one of my pet peeves is that people who follow the Leafs talk about the Leafs. They tend to do this thing where they take 2 or 3 game segments, and they judge the Leafs on 2 or 3 game segments.
Which you can't do. So
it's
let me ask you something.
Game schedule. They won 43 times.
Has the Greek judged them ever, in your opinion, while we're doing the show on a 2-3 game segment?
No, you've been saying the same thing over and over.
Over and over and over and over.
But you got new material today.
Yeah, we're talking a tale of two teams. The team that's resilient and shows up and puts up the goals, or that sad sack defensive core that lets that plays a style of hockey. That plays a style of hockey that I could go see at Stan Wadlow. Plays a shinny. Plays shinny against inferior.
Let me tell you. If you can see that kind of hockey at Stan Wadlow,
I don't know.
I'm going to Stan Wadlow.
I don't know. You're going to
Stan Wadlow. If you can see hockey like that,
I don't know. Remember the shorthanded goal Chicago scored. It was 3-on-1 for 3 hours. The guy was by himself. It was a bad change.
A bad change led to a 3-on-1 shorthand, which never happens. Should never happen, but it did. What are you gonna do about it? By the way, before I go any further, this segment, by the way, is brought to you by Aldo at Remax Crossroads. Call 416 Aldo for all your real estate needs. Aldo has a great team there. They do numbers for you. You're going to get everything you need to do when you're selling your house, buying a house. Go see Aldo. He's a great guy.
Give me a second, Tilley. I'm going to make a little walk over here. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So anyway, we're talking about people judging at least in 2 or 3 game segments, which you can't do. And you haven't. I know you got some new material today because you were talking earlier about before off the air. You're talking about Mike Babcock.
Here's the issue. Babcock and Dubas are like
oil and water.
2 gentlemen that got into the bars, right? Probably on a Saturday, Sunday, wears a disguise to go protest.
You're saying Babcock doesn't get carded.
Hold on. He probably goes downtown to protest global warming. Who knows what that kid does, right?
Yeah.
Babcock, on the other hand, is an old Irish stubborn bastard, excuse the language, that has been in the game for years. He knows what it takes to win. He's got credibility. He's got a ring. He's got gold medal. Nobody can say Babcock is not a good coach.
Right.
I can't say that either. But the point of the matter is, Babcock knows what it takes. Dubas thinks he knows what it's going to take. Dubas doesn't play a style of hockey conducive to winning today. Dubas plays and has...
analytics, baby.
Nah, but it's more than analytics. Dubas, and by rights, it's a general manager's job to look into the future. A general manager manages for today, but they have to have an eye on the future. We understand that. Dubas has a perception, and you can tell by the roster he's created, how hockey's going to look like. Winning hockey is going to look like this year, next year, 3 years from now. This is not a one-year deal. Dubas is not only looking at this year.
Well, he's got to. I mean,
without a doubt, I understand that. But Dubas has made it. Dubas's philosophy and the way he's structured his team suggests to me and to anybody else watching that he believes that a team exclusively built on skill and skill alone is good enough today, tomorrow, next year to win a Stanley Cup. And if you ask me, you ask Babcock in confidence, say, you know what, that's bullshit. It's not happening, not that way. Hockey has not changed to the point in time, I've said this before, that a progressive thinker can align talented individuals without any grit, without any heart, without any back-end toughness. You can't win like that, Tilley.
But okay, now, if you're saying that if the Leafs had zero grit, I might buy into that. The problem is this team has a lot more grit than people give them credit for.
You imagine this grit. Okay? It doesn't translate into the game, Joe. Okay. It does not translate into the game. It doesn't translate into their defensive zone coverages. It doesn't translate into the forechecking. You might see a pesky guy. Like, with all due respect, I love Hyman.
Remember, Nazem Kadri missed a few games.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Hyman, Kadri, these are guys that provide grit. Jake Muzzin is a guy that provides grit. Nikita Zaitsev leads the team in hits. Listen,
come on, Joe.
Team in hits with 111 hits.
Yeah,
he also has.
This counts as a hit, Joe.
He also has 140. He has 140 blocked shots.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Right.
That's great, Joe. I'm not talking about that necessarily. There's got to be. I can't do this all the time. The Greeks, I don't want to start sweating under here, man. You know how much this shirt costs me?
It's called hockey. in 2019. It's not the same as hockey in 1975.
But he's playing a version of not hockey in 2019.
Okay.
He's playing a version of what hockey's going to look like in 2022. That's his thought process.
Yeah.
And he's assembling a roster, and a level of talent that he thinks will adapt to the changing face of the game. That's what progressive thinkers do.
But it's not just him, okay? He's got staff. He's got people to work with him. He's also got.
He's the boss.
He's
Don't
also
kid
got
yourself.
scouts. Yeah, sure.
He's the boss.
He's the boss. But he also ran the Sioux Greyhounds before he ran.
And how do you run them? The same way. So
they were a very successful franchise.
no doubt about it.
He also worked under Lou Lamoriello. So I mean, the guy's been groomed by one of the best in the business.
He's been groomed, but Kyle Dubas and
okay, what happened to the Boston Red Sox when Theo took over? Mm-hmm. What happened to the Chicago Cubs when Theo took over? Okay. All right, same kind of guy, a forward-thinking guy with an idea how the game should be. All right, this is what you got with Kyle Dubas. He's no dummy. This guy is brilliant. And I'll tell you something else. You're saying that you think you know better than Kyle Dubas.
Hold on. Number
okay.
one. First of all, let me make the case.
Yeah.
Then. Let me make the case. Has Kyle and I ever sat down and talked hockey? I don't know. Have I ever met the guy?
No.
What was Kyle Dubas? First of all, if Kyle Dubas number one was a hockey mind, and he is, right? Why is he a 33-year-old general manager? Kyle Dubas didn't learn the game in the dressing room.
That's right.
Kyle Dubas learned the game in the press box. Kyle Dubas learned the game from the outside looking in. Kyle Dubas didn't learn the game in the locker room, man. Do you understand? Kyle Dubas,
let's talk about the greatest general managers of all time. Were they players? No. They weren't
players. Again, Kyle Dubas is 33 years old, and he learned the game from the outside in. And I think the missing element and his philosophy is jaded, and it's exclusively in relation to the level. First of all, trade deadline.
It's like, did Theo Epstein learn how to play baseball from the dugout? No, he didn't learn anything about the baseball from the dugout. He's an analytical guy as well.
Baseball's a different sport than hockey in terms of analytics. Let's not kid ourselves. We're trying to throw analytics.
It's changing. I'm telling you.
You know what hockey is? Hockey is a game of emotion, a game of passion.
So is baseball.
No, that game, baseball, man, his emotion is different. Hockey's a physical.
Joey, tell me that it's not an emotional game. Joey bat flip.
Oh,
all right,
Jesus. Joe, you're not getting the point. The point of the matter is, I've said it again, and I'll say it ad nauseum, that the Leafs, as constructed, man, they cannot win a Stanley Cup without playing a multi-dimensional game. The minute, and we said this 100 times, man. Is my hair gonna get gray, man? We said this 100 times. When the ice closes, as it does in playoff time, they shrink. When the ice is open, there is no better team in hockey. But how do you play? You want to play pool? Remember that beating I gave you last week? You think you can just go and play pool and pot shots?
I made some great shots, by the way.
Yeah, he did. He made this one that was I was very surprised. Anyways, can you play pool and never play safe? Can you play pool and just pop balls and willy-nilly?
Well, if you make all the shots.
If you make all the shots. Yeah. But if you don't, if you play a competitor, right, and you know you miss a shot, he's going to run you out. You got to learn how to play safe. You got to learn how to play.
Oh, there we go. Time out. Sam's here with the coffees.
Hold that thought. Hey.
Thank you, Sam. Sam for the corner bank. She's the best. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now that Sammy's here, we might as well. Are you nervous? We might as well get you on there.
A little bit. It's my debut.
Sam, do you agree that Kyle Dubas is a good GM? Would you agree with me that he's going to get the job done? There you see.
Sure.
All right.
Sure, I agree with that.
So let me ask you. Man, go away. No. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You know how many people are watching this?
I don't think you should tell me.
At least 70.
Right now. But there's going to be more later.
Okay.
So if somebody walks through the corner bank, right, decide they want to come in here.
Yeah.
Saturday night, Friday night, other than meeting a couple legends like us, what do they got to look forward to? What kind of operation you guys run?
First and foremost.
Yeah.
I'm always here.
Yeah.
We got 7-foot tables, we got 9-foot tables, we got snooker tables, got ping pong, got drinks, got it all.
Were you better? You better on
how
the
many
ping pong?
TV screens you got?
Jeez, you know what? I don't even count it. We got a lot. Every which way you're going to
30
see.
in there or something.
And then
they're
the
all big.
patio in the summer.
If we ask you a question, are you going to be honest?
Yes.
How's the food?
It's really good.
How good? What's your favorite?
I eat it all the time. Oh, jeez. Butter chicken, probably.
Butter chicken?
Butter chicken is good. I've had the butter chicken.
You have had the butter chicken.
I've had the quesadillas.
Yeah.
I've had the steak sandwich. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Brian's favorite is the veggie burger.
Veggie burger? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all really good. I can't lie.
What else can they find if they come here?
What else can they find? What are you looking for?
What else can they find? What other kind of action's going on? Hey, a little bit of TV, a little bit of sports, a little bit of conversation.
Yeah, you know, just a good time out. You know, it's not your normal bar, right? Just
Absolutely,
have a good time.
absolutely.
Some drinks,
right?
Meet some good people. It's a good crowd.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the coffee, Sam.
If that's not good enough, maybe just come see this guy.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you paid her well for that, Billy.
Holy jeez. Kyle, man, we're talking about Kyle Dubas and holy Jeff. Forget about it. Doesn't matter. What do you want to say? Kyle's the greatest.
Okay, Kyle's the greatest. Okay, so the other thing I want to say about Kyle Dubas is, you know, people keep looking at what's happened in the past, historically, and the game has changed. The referees call the game tighter than they used to call them, okay? That favors the Leafs. This is a team with skill. That favors the Leafs. We're going to see what happens come playoff time. You know, there will be times when the Leafs have to play a gritty game, but my argument has been all along that maybe, just maybe, they have the guys to get this done.
Would you agree that if that many of the Maple Leaf skeptics have raised the issue of grit and toughness?
Yeah, a lot of people have.
Let me ask you something.
A lot of people.
Does anybody, when you're walking around, ask you how your diet's going if you're not a little overweight?
Yeah. Well,
so if you're talking about, hold on, if you're talking about potentially being a problem, potentially, if people are asking you all the time, you have enough grit? Is your defense solid enough?
Yeah. Because you know, those are talking points. Those are talking points you hear from people like Brian Burke on television. Yeah. They're talking points you hear from other announcers on TV and elsewhere, and guys like Billy. Those are talking points you hear a lot. But you know what? The fact of the matter is, this Leafs team might be good enough to win on offense alone. You remember the Edmonton Oilers? I mean, that's a bad analogy, I know, because they're not exactly like the Edmonton Oilers. But the thing that made the Oilers so great was their offense, was their skill set. They came at you, and they came at you, and they came at you. And I think the Maple Leafs have what it takes to do that. And I think they might have enough grit to get the job done. And I'll tell you another thing, covering talking this down for 35, 36 years, whatever it is. I can tell you that when it comes to the playoffs, predictions go out the window. The smartest guys in the world will make predictions, and you go, what? And it just doesn't happen. Who? Name me one person that you know of who picked the Las Vegas Golden Knights to be in the Stanley Cup final last spring. One person.
So what you're telling me? What you're telling me is a expansion franchise reached the Stanley Cup Finals, and our beloved Buds haven't reached there in 50 years. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah. So don't you think they're due?
I think they're due. Yeah. And you know what? Let's retrace our steps before I got distracted by that young lady. There's 3 relationships that are vital to a successful franchise. The relationship between players and coach and management and ownership. 1, 2, 3. There's a disconnect in the middle. There's a disconnect at the beginning with Babcock and the players. And the Greek doesn't make this up. The Greek doesn't come in. Hold on, Joe. Do you think I come out of here without facts?
Yeah.
Again, they don't like Bowman either. They didn't like Bowman back in the day. Exactly. So that's not important. You don't have to like your coach to play for him. We get that. Right. But the disconnect between Dubas and Dubas, aggressive thinker behind the bench. You don't believe me? You watch and see. And here's how I'll prove it to you.
Okay, all right.
Here's how I'll prove it to you. Come trade deadline time. There's absolutely no reason Leaf Nation should not have a McQuaid in the back end. You see the defense is terrible. It's terrible. There's no reason Simmons should not be wearing blue and white. Why was there? I'm not going to bring no toughness. I'm not going to bring anything. I bring toughness. That means, you know what? I was wrong.
Okay, you're making the assumption that Babcock asked him for toughness.
He asks every night. He asks every night. He asks
his players for.
You know what?
Read the quotes, man.
I'll read the quote. You know what? I got a good buddy. And I asked him. You know what? A real good buddy, man. I'm not going to say who. And I asked him,
tell me,
level of toughness to be a different kind of game when necessary. That level does not exist. And if you tell me the Leafs can win without that level, God bless you. The Greek says no, they can't do it. End of story. What are we going to argue about for a lifetime?
Is it even possible for you to believe, right, that Mike Babcock might feel that he has a team that he can win with? That he might. Is it possible for you to
love to ask him in private.
Well, yeah, who knows?
I love to ask him in private.
Do you think he's going to tell you? I don't think he'd tell. I don't think he'd tell his wife. I don't think he'd tell anybody.
No, he wouldn't. And
I don't. Even if he didn't. But I'll tell you, he might believe that he has a team that he can win with, and he might feel that the chemistry that he has with this team is such that he doesn't want to make any additions. Can you believe that is even possible?
No.
Well, I think it is.
No,
I think it is.
Absolutely not. This is a Kyle Dubas.
Talent. I think that the team is talented. I think the coach is talented, and I think the management is talented.
There you go. So you go. Petticlear says talent. The coach is talented, the management is talented, and the players are talented.
Let's settle this once and for all. Let's settle this once and for all right here. You've been doing this for 30 years. All right. Okay. So let's say the last 5 years you didn't know nothing about sports and you watched this Leaf team play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you didn't know who the head coach was.
Right.
And you closed your eyes and you watched the product on the ice. How many guesses would it take you to say that this is a Mike Babcock coach team? Just by looking at it.
Maybe Mike Babcock is developing with the change in the game.
Are you kidding me, man? Mike Babcock is a stubborn old Irishman.
No, he's not. He's not even Irish. Babcock's an English name.
English, but whatever he is, man. Happy St. Patrick's Day, right?
Okay,
let's go on to the next segment.
We're moving on. All right. This next segment is brought to you by Davey Auto Sales. Best and cleanest used cars anywhere. 99 Bloor Street East in Oshawa. Call 905-720-CARS or visit DaveyAutoSales.com. Call Jeff and his team today. Everybody drives Davey. There you go.
Hey?
Everybody drives Davey.
What does that lead into?
Well, let's talk about the Raptors today. All right? Let's talk about the Raptors. I think we've kind of touched on that. Well, you know what? Maybe before we do that, we talked earlier about maybe mentioning a couple of other NHL surprises, a couple of things that are going on in the NHL. A team that plays, I think, a lot like the Maple Leafs, Calgary Flames.
Yeah.
All right. Same kind of idea, smaller guys, a lot of speed, a lot of skill. Yeah. Here they are, the best team in the West, 95 points.
Take a look up there, man. You see a guy named Kachuk? Look at this. You see this?
Yeah.
You're watching this right here?
Yeah,
they don't play the same kind of game. Go on.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead. It was right in front of you.
You see a guy named Katry? You see a guy named Zach Hyman?
All right,
You see a guy named Jake Muzzin. You don't think Jake Muzzin can play like that? Of course he can. Anyway, so the Calgary Flames, nice surprise. Wouldn't that be something if we would have Leafs Flames Stanley Cup final? That'd be awesome. Tampa Bay, unbelievable. They're already home and cooled out. They're already home and cooled out.
Does that scare you? Coming in?
It scares me if I'm a Tampa Bay fan.
Yeah, right? Where else can you go, right?
I mean, you're not pressure. There's no pressure going on for the last 2-3 weeks of the season
at all.
It's going to be hard to get up.
Especially early on in the series, you can get caught with your pants down by a Carolina coming in red, or hot, or a Columbus coming in right.
Right.
Who else we're going to talk about? How about those?
Okay, well, we're going to talk about the Raptors.
No, forget the Raptors for a minute. Okay. Sorry, guys. We're going to talk about. There's a lot of Bruin fans everywhere, and especially in our social circle, in our media. So a little panic over there, boys? You lost 3 in a row.
Oh boy, when they were gloating when the Bruins were unbeaten in 19 games.
Yeah.
Then they lose 3 in a row. And whoa, where'd you go?
Yeah, and absolutely. Right? Isn't that the nature of all hockey fans?
Have you left town, or what's the matter?
Yeah. Isn't that the nature of all hockey fans? Not only in the Toronto market.
But that's what, again, I get back to that 2 or 3 game segment, judging a team by 2 or 3 games. You can't do it. You just can't do it. You can't write the Bruins off because they've lost 3 in a row. No. And you can't just crown them as Stanley Cup champions because they go 19 games undefeated. No.
You know what, frankly?
What has to happen is in April, this first week of April, you have to start getting hot. The team that gets hot in April, the team that starts cooking things up now, that's the team that's going to come and win it all, and that's the way it is.
Frankly, I'm a little bit inclined to believe that the Eastern Conference representative might come out of the Metropolitan, right? Washington is got pedigree. They're dangerous. Pittsburgh, you can never count them out. Islanders, who knows? Who knows what kind of club the Islanders are?
Okay.
Who knows, right? Columbus, you never know, right?
Right.
You just don't know. Like you're a crapshoot.
And you got 3 of the top teams in the NHL. The top 3 teams in the East, all coming from the same division. You've got the Leafs, and the Bruins, and the Bolts. And who knows? I mean, if the Leafs get through, they have to beat
Boston, Tampa Bay,
the Bruins, and probably Tampa Bay. But then again, you take the Metropolitan Division. Washington may have to play Pittsburgh in the first round. Or the Islanders, or
What do you? I never got to ask you. What do you like in terms of the playoff format? Are you okay with the?
No. I think it should be 1 versus 8.
Yeah.
2 versus. I mean, the reason the NHL does it is it creates rivalries, and it certainly does. And it's there's definitely a rivalry brewing there, so it's a good thing.
Want to talk a little about the game tonight before we move on?
No.
What do you see, man?
Forget about it.
Hey,
forget about it.
Holy jeez.
Okay, let's move on to the Raptors.
He's the boss. He's the boss.
Okay, let's move on to the Raptors. Okay, because I'll tell you. We'll talk later. Okay, so Raptors.
What, in the parking lot?
Yeah, we'll talk about this. You've already said too much, Billy.
Holy jeez.
Pistons is coming out of retirement. Okay, so the Raptors, okay. 3 games out of first place. They're probably not going to catch Milwaukee. That's probably over. Now, here's an interesting matchup. Raptors and Pistons in the first round. Pistons are currently tied with Brooklyn for 6th. The team that finishes 7th is going to end up facing the Raptors in the first round. Wouldn't that be something?
It would be something.
And Dwayne Casey's Pistons have had the Raps number this year.
So is Brooklyn, though. Brooklyn's played us tough, too.
Yeah.
We lost in Brooklyn by 20 and came down to the buzzer at home. Both tough matchups, right? But it would be great theater to watch Casey come. But again, Casey doesn't have the horses in Detroit to beat the Raptors in a 7-game series, but it would be fun.
Casey would love that because, he would think that his team has a shot to upset the Raptors because he's seen the Raptors,
You think he'd be hungry for that?
He's seen the Raptors, his own team when he's coaching the Raptors, he's seen them bow out in 4 straight before, so he might be thinking that the Pistons can upset them, but there is absolutely no chance. I don't care what happened in the regular season.
Would he be motivated? You think he'd want that, Casey?
Oh, yeah, of course he wants.
Holy yeah.
But the thing is, for him, it's a no-lose. If they lose to the Raptors, it's because they were 7th place team.
You think Casey would cut off his middle finger for that win against the Raptors and give it to him? Walk the rest of his life with 3, eh?
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, that would be such a big deal for him. Vindication, right? Because Masai Ujiri fired him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that would be vindication for him.
I like talking about the Raptors. I enjoyed watching. I enjoyed watching the Laker game, and I enjoyed watching it from the perspective of getting to know Malcolm Miller a little bit. Some court time, can shoot the ball. McCaw, different players getting in the rotation.
Well, the back out with the suspension.
Getting into the rotation, and again, one of my concerns with the Gasol trade was the depletion in terms of depth on the squad, right?
It's not looking so bad.
Having Jeremy Lin settled.
And it's fun. It's nice to beat LeBron. Let's face it. This guy has burned the Raps. So time and time again. With Cleveland and oh my God.
You know what's interesting when I look at LeBron. Change the subject a little bit. The day after they played back to back, right?
Right.
Lakers not going to make the playoffs. It looks like. Actually, it's pretty well mathematical certainty. LeBron took the next day load management rest. What's he resting for, Joe? What's he resting for?
Next year?
Load management.
He's 35. He's old.
Load management, eh?
That's
so you're making load management, eh, pal? Way to go, LeBron, man. You know what, LeBron James, from the minute he left the minute he left the Cavaliers and the way he did, LeBron James is one of the greatest players of all time. But in terms of his personality and his character, man, you're no Michael Jordan, pal. You never will be. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan.
For sure. And for
load management.
As far as Toronto fans are concerned,
he's killed us.
Okay, he's killed us. Not only that, but when he went to Miami, he brought Chris Bosh with him. So he took Chris Bosh away from the Raptors. Then he proceeded to beat the Raptors year after year after year come playoff time. It's just so it's nice to see LeBron get his due, I suppose. From a Raptors standpoint, it was good to see him lose in Toronto.
Do you think that'll change, Joe? Do you think 2-3 years of missing the playoffs will change the way LeBron James is viewed in terms of his legacy? If he goes 35 to 38, do you think it's going to affect? Do you think it's going to affect his legacy long term?
Maybe, but you know what? It might because people are starting to get on him. People are starting to get down on LeBron because of the off-court stuff. The stuff, the way he left Cleveland, the way he left Cleveland again.
How about the way he cries after every foul?
Yeah, I mean, and he comes to Los Angeles, and he Tinseltown and yada yada yada, and he's going to make this team into a contender immediately, and they stink. They stink.
They stink.
And the problem with LeBron is he plays GM too, and that's another thing that people don't like. When you've got a guy who plays general manager, the tinkering he did with the Cavs,
terrible.
And then it moves to, and that's his team. Wherever he goes, it's his team.
It's his team. Right?
There is no GM. Why have a GM? LeBron James.
I guess that comes with greatness, no?
Yeah. Well, no. A player should never be a general manager.
No.
Obviously. Okay, LeBron James, Exhibit A.
Well said.
This next segment brought to you by Carriage Trade Cleaners. Like a spa for your clothes, eco-friendly, biodegradable cleaning products and packaging, gourmet coffee, 932 Simcoe Street North in Oshawa, 905-576-7500. Same-day service available Monday to Friday. Go to carriagetrade.ca. Store your winter wear today.
God, you're good at that, man.
Yeah.
You're good at that, man. I gotta hand it to you, man.
Yeah,
I tried that. You know what? Back when Mr. Claude was in town doing the thing, I tried to do this, eh?
Did you?
I tried to beat Joe Tilley for a day, man. It's not easy, buddy, man.
No.
You do a hell of a job here, Joe. Hell of a job.
It's not easy being Joe.
No, eh?
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
Why is your wife smiling over there? Eh? What's going on?
Okay,
anyway,
so let's shift gears to tennis here. Milos Raonic bowing out in the semifinals of the BNP Paribas at Indian Wells. But a nice run for Milos. You know, looks like he's healthy again. Loses to Dominic Thiem, no big deal. But the thing is Federer got a walkover because Rafa wasn't in the other semi, so he would have been facing Federer, and would have been a guy that Milos would have had a chance to beat. So that's kind of unfortunate. But Bianca Andreescu, okay, this kid just continues to just blow my mind.
Yeah.
All right? 18-year-old from Mississauga. Okay, get this. No, she wins a WTA 125 tournament earlier in the. She's like 28-3 on the season, but in this tournament, this is BNP Indian Wells. This is top-notch tournament. All the top players.
Even
in the world.
Even a casual guy like me heard about Indian Wells over the years. Yeah.
Okay, in the semifinals, she knocks off number 6, Elena Svitolina, and Elena Svitolina is she's one of the top players in the planet. Knocked her off in 3 sets. Came back to do it. She's just phenomenal. Now she faces Angelika Kerber in the final. But good for her. Bianca Andreescu is just, this is a Canadian superstar. A Canadian superstar. And we got 2 of them in 2 young Canadian.
Who's the other guy?
No, 2 women. 2 young women.
Okay.
2 young women in Canadian sports right now who are like on top of the world. Bianca Andreescu and Brooke Henderson in golf.
Yeah.
Two just.
Yeah, Brookie's been at it for years.
Oh, yeah. And she's only 20 years old.
Yeah, really, eh?
I mean, she's phenomenal.
If you told me how
she's already, I think she's tied for most wins ever by a Canadian.
20, no?
20,
Laurie
maybe
Kane?
21.
Laurie Kane?
No.
Tied with who?
Mike Weir. Ottawa. Smith Falls, yeah. Near Ottawa. On the way to Ottawa.
So Ottawa produced something.
If you take the Via Rail train, it stops in Smith Falls on the way to Ottawa.
So Ottawa finally produced something for Canada, eh? Worthwhile, eh? Ottawa.
Is that a political slight, Billy? I'm just saying. It might be a political slight, folks. If it is, we apologize to all our fine politicians nationwide. Okay, there's some other things I wanted to talk about here.
What do you want to talk about? This guy over here? This guy that sent me 100 messages here?
Okay, let's
you want to talk about this guy?
What is he saying?
Eh?
What is he?
You know what? I'm gonna give my little shout out. He's finally come around, man. We got this team